Vice President Kamala Harris made her first visit to the southern border since taking office. Harris toured immigration facilities Friday and said the Biden administration is making what she described as, quote, extreme progress in addressing the surge in migrants from Central America. Republicans criticized her for not visiting sooner and for the timing of her trip ahead of former President Donald Trump's visit to the area next week. Christina Ruffini is at the White House with the latest. Christina, good morning.
Good morning, Dana. This trip, which White House officials tell CBS News was organized very quickly, comes just a few days before former President Trump is set to take his own tour of the Texas border.
More than 90 days after the border crisis was added to her portfolio, Vice President Kamala Harris arrived in El Paso.
I said back in March I was going to come to the border, so this is not a new plan.
The long-awaited visit was organized so quickly, White House sources told CBS News it caused confusion and left some staffers to learn details about the trip, including its exact location, from media reports.
It is here in El Paso that the previous administration's child separation policy was unveiled.
But Republicans criticized the VP for not going to the Rio Grande Valley, where most border apprehensions take place, and for waiting so long.
She avoided traveling to the border for more than 90 days. In that short amount of time of more than 3 months, there's been more than 500,000 encounters.
Harris said she wanted the stop to highlight the human side of the crisis, touring a processing center and meeting with migrant kids.
This issue cannot be reduced to a political issue. We're talking about children, we're talking about family, and our approach has to be thoughtful and effective.
And while the parties remain on opposite sides of the border issue, back in Washington, the bipartisan bridge building on more than $1 trillion in infrastructure projects is now in doubt.
For me, investment in our physical and human infrastructure are inextricably intertwined. Both make us better off and stronger.
After President Biden said he will only sign the bill if it coincides with passage of a much larger budget plan, one Democrats want to push through without Republican support.
Now, Republican lawmakers who were part of that deal say that's different than what the president told them in person. But progressive lawmakers have said they're not willing to vote for that scaled-down infrastructure bill unless it coincides with a larger bill that includes things like what they're calling human infrastructure. That's child care, free community college, green energy, all those things that were in the president's original $6 trillion bill that Republicans called a non-starter. So round and round we go.
Yeah,
Michelle?
well, it sounds like a deal isn't set just yet. Christina, thank you so much.